All right, so we have a very ambitious, extensive roadmap, and it's often just important to take a step, pause, see what's going on, see what we've been doing. And here we break it up by quarter. There's been a lot of work over the year. Q3 focused on sidechain beta, the big deal, and we're going to have Alberto come on and talk in detail about Zendoo and what we delivered in July. It is, like Rolf said, the most significant software delivery that we've ever done as a project. And we've been working on it for a couple of years. And it's the first part of what's going to culminate in a truly revolutionary blockchain system. And we'll get into some of those details when Alberto joins. But a lot of the tasks that you see here on the 2020 roadmap for the rest of the year, things that we accomplished in Q3 and things that we're doing in Q4 are related to Zendoo and related to the sidechain technology because it is such a big deal. And we have a lot of supporting work that's been going into this. Everything from documentation, which has already been delivered in its first phase, but it's in constant maturity. It's just a project that will always be ongoing. And we realize documentation is never done. So we're going to continue working on that. And not only do we want to deliver great software, but we also want people to have the knowledge to actually use it. So we're also generating a ton of educational content, everything from a very important live webinar that Alberto, Alexander, and the team put together so that they can actually walk through developers the process of modifying and customizing logic in the Zendoo SDK. So that was very important. It's now available on demand, but Lucy will get into that. And then a bunch of other stuff supporting that, other how-tos, tutorials, documentation. Rolf's been doing some fantastic voiceovers. He has the perfect voice for doing these. And we're going deeper still. So now we're putting together the actual model for incentivizing, or incentive model for how you can use micropayments, Zen, obviously, to incentivize various actors in the decentralized ecosystem that all have to coordinate their activities together. And Zendoo, in the way that we do the sidechain system in a totally decentralized way, requires this type of sophisticated thinking of how you're going to automate these types of incentives so that in the end, on the margin, however you want to think of it, resources, people are being compensated for the work that they're putting into it. And there's a whole bunch of different type of work that's going to go into making the sidechain system successful. Everything from forging blocks, aggregating transactions, aggregating proofs, generating proof certificates. There's a whole bunch of stuff here, passing certificates back to the main chain, miners doing their normal thing that they do on the Horizen main chain today, and making sure that every layer of this process actually gets rewarded in a way that, at a minimum, rewards people on the margin for their contribution. But we need to make sure that the system can operate fully, decentralized, and autonomously, or else it's just not going to work. So the level of thinking that's gone into this is going to be presented to the community in a technical white paper that we published in Q4. I've already looked at the draft. It looks fantastic. And that's just really kind of foundational work that's now informing the development. And Alberto is going to talk into more details about the remaining development tasks to get Zendoo from the parallel testnet that it's on today to the primary testnet for the ecosystem, and then ultimately to the mainnet. There's a lot of work going into it, but the team has done a fantastic job architecting it, testing a variety of different elements that need to go into it. Things like performance testing on a Snark circuit, not easy. Really can't wait to release performance results, but Alberto maybe can give a little bit of a teaser on that. We don't have them for you here, but we're working on things like that to ensure the system. In parallel to this, we've also been incorporating findings from a third-party audit into the main code base, and these code changes have been done, integrated, or in testing, and hopefully we can get out with the next Zendoo release. So very excited for that, constantly maturing the core technology because security and functionality is so important for us. Then there's a whole bunch of work that you can see in Q4 that I'm going to wait for Alberto to really go into detail, but it does involve a couple of main strands of activities. One is maturing Zendoo to get it to the mainnet, and there's still, again, a lot of work that goes into that. You can get a flavor for what the complex engineering that goes into it with the task descriptions. But then there's also going beyond that of getting engineers and getting developers into our ecosystem, so pulling them into the ecosystem, and then helping them curate opportunities for them to start becoming useful and contributing to the ecosystem, but contributing to the ecosystem today, because we don't want to just always be focusing on the future. We want to have a balance of things that we're doing today with the other extremely important things that we're building for the future. And I think we're striking a very nice balance with things like HDE, the Horizen Developer Environment, and the Horizen Early Adopter Program HEAP. And we're going to go into all of these details. And also, Alan's going to talk about changes to the tracking and node payment system, which again is at the heart of our ecosystem, getting fund flows to keep our infrastructure live and running.